And welcome back to the series where we explore the new values of the captive consumer. The captive economy is a fascinating place. Understanding the psychology of imprisonment and captivity allows us to understand how the consumers may be feeling right now and how we as brands and businesses can better connect with them. So these are the 5 values of the new captive consumer. Okay, so let's look at that first value of the new captive economy consumer. I want to talk about freedom. Freedom as a value. We've fought for freedom for centuries. It's not only back in the 1800s when slavery finished. We fought for political freedoms, for economic freedoms. So freedom is something that we value hugely in democracies. And as individuals, we feel it's our right to be able to choose, to have decisions that we can make, be they big or small, they're ours to make. So you choose where to work, where to live, and with whom. But then you choose small things like what to have in your sandwich, or will I have another drink at this bar, or will we change bars? Or so we're used to making literally hundreds and thousands of decisions a day about what we're going to do. When you take that ability to make decisions away from us, we kind of feel quite aggrieved. So you're getting into the psychology of captivity, where understanding how people in captivity, be it imprisonment or be it in kidnapping situations, react. And basically, there's an underlying anxiety, of course, when you take someone's freedoms away, when you deny them the ability to satisfy their own desires. That is a fundamental, we would view it as a human right, but actually, from a human psychological point of view, it's just our nature to do what we want when we want. So we've taken freedoms away from consumers now. They're not able to go where they want, they're not able to shop where they want, they're not able to do what they want. So, underneath the anxiety about the virus itself, underneath the fear of the pandemic and the fear of illness and death, there's also another anxiety that is more psychological about the removal of freedoms. And what happens when you take freedoms away? Well, sometimes bad things happen. And so there will be a negative reaction to this. So there's going to be a grieving process, as always, with anything. And so the bargaining and the anger that follows any grieving process is likely to be taken out on all sorts of random directions. So you can take it out on your partner or the person you're living with in the home. You can take it out on your employer. And some consumers will take it out on brands. So those phone calls that will go through to call centers, maybe utility call center or broadband call center, banks, you're going to find the consumer at the other end being a little bit more on edge. You're going to find quite an angry consumer. They're angry about so many things, but part of it is that freedom that's been taken away from them. And so now, from a customer experience point of view, is the time that brands really need to bring it. They need to bring a level of customer experience that they maybe have never ever thought of before. A heartwarming, authentic, connecting customer experience that lets the consumer know that the brand and the business is there for them. So I think the freedom and the taking away of an individual's freedom and a consumer's freedom to choose, a freedom to buy, a freedom to go, is a big one. And psychologically, I think people are going to struggle with that once this novelty phase is over. So I think anything you can do as a brand and a business to allow your consumer a bit of room, a bit of freedom within their contract, a bit of freedom within how they buy or the subscription they already have, a freedom in terms of how they pay, freedom in terms of banks all giving us extended loan periods for mortgages and car loans, and so that's the kind of freedom that we need to reflect back at the consumer, because freedom is something that they're struggling with right now in terms of coming to grips with this new captive economy.